Hello, welcome to ThePrint. I'm Sudeep and I'm at the Kerala Literature Festival with Shivshankar Menon. He comes from a long line of diplomats. He's been the National Security Advisor under Manmohan Singh. He was a High Commissioner and served in Pakistan and Sri Lanka and was ambassador to China and Israel. And thank you, sir, for speaking to us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I just attended your session. Unexpected humor in some places. I know you said you don't like making predictions and you don't like, setting the course forward of what it is. But Trump is back. And Jaishankar yesterday said that, they're very keen, the words were very keen on pursuing a diplomatic bilateral relationship with India. But the words don't match the actions. What do you think the next 4 years looks like for Indo-US relationships?
I think there's enough to the relationship that it will probably continue to develop and develop in a positive way as it has before. But there's no question that Mr. Trump, the one thing you can count on with Mr. Trump is surprise. I think he enjoys being unpredictable. In fact, he actually says that he uses the madman theory. So there will be, hiccups, there will be issues. He has a clear idea on tariffs, on the economy, he thinks the trade surplus is, at least a trade deficit for the US is bad and that something must be done about it. So I can expect that there will be, some hard negotiating. But when you look at the last 6 months of Trump's first administration, the US was actually very positive on a bilateral investment treaty and on a bilateral free trade agreement. So if we want, I think there is an opportunity here to actually move both the economic agenda forward and the political agenda, I think will depend on how, Asian geopolitics develops, how the relationship between the US and China goes. We'll have to see. One thing that, as you said, predicting is always dangerous, I think. But I think there's enough momentum and enough substance to the relationship now that it will go forward. And also, I think the international situation is supportive of it.
And at the session, since you brought up China, at the session you speak about the triangle and how it's not balanced but sort of playing both sides to India's advantage. How does that look like with the new administration and new tariffs?
Well, I think their own relationship with China is now a big question mark. He had made certain threats before, which he hasn't followed through on, 60% tariffs on Chinese goods. But he has, again, yes, he invited President Xi Jinping to his inauguration. He is now, yesterday, again spoken of 10% tariff likely on China. So we have to wait and see how that relationship goes. For us, I think the important thing is that it's in India's interest to have good working relations with both the US and China. And I think that's what we should concentrate on what we can control and contribute.
So coming back to our own neighborhood, you spoke about Bangladesh during the session as well and how you don't want to make any predictions there also because it's a revolution.
And who can predict a revolution?
Do you think our sort of relationship will go back to what it was again? Because in the session you said you really don't know who's calling the shots there. You don't know who is in power. So where is the space for India to communicate with the political establishment there? What is the political?
Luckily, our relationship is with Bangladesh. It's not with one leader, another leader, or today's leader. And it's not only what happens between the two states. It's actually what is between the peoples. It operates at many levels, business, NGOs, you name it. There's also the whole question of popular emotion and how we are perceived in each other's countries. Because we're also part of each other's domestic politics, whether we like it or not. So the way I see it, there is a lot more to the relationship than just the relationship with formal state-to-state relationship between the two capitals. Once Bangladesh sorts itself out, I think the normal logic of geography, of history, of affinity culture will assert itself, and we will come back to an equilibrium in the relationship. But today, because it's a revolution, I think it's unfair to expect stability or clarity at this stage. But do the right thing. Do the good things which we have been doing before, whether it's trading, whether it's allowing travel, whether it's, medical help, whether it's supplying power, whether it's using the inland water transport. Keep the border hearts open so that people on both sides don't suffer because of this. And I think that's the way forward.
Now I have to come back to India, China. Looking at the Pannun issue, you were NSA. Do you think that, a rogue element can pull off something like this?
I was never NSA during this period. When this is supposed to have happened, I was amazed when I heard it, because it either reveals tremendous incompetence, and that's not a characteristic of the agencies that I knew, the Indian agencies that I dealt with, or it reveals some kind of huge, I think, a strange calculation of costs and benefits, which I don't understand. So I find it very hard to comment on this, because very little is out in the open. All that we've seen is a few documents and accusations by various people. And in this world, I'd be very careful of taking anything at face value.
There's also statements from the PM about things like "Ghar pe guske marenge." Like, how does that play into this?
Whether this is an example of that or not, who knows? And I don't think we should draw connections between some stray statement somewhere and what is now alleged here. And at no stage has the government of India done that. So I see no reason to assume that these things are true. I would be very careful before jumping to any conclusion, because also this is not the kind of things that our agencies are set up to do. And there are checks and balances built into the system to prevent precisely rogue and so on. But if there was some rogue element doing something, then I'm sure they'll take action against it, because no system likes to think that it doesn't control itself.
Perfect. So thank you so much for speaking to us, sir, and hope to see you soon again.